Hello and welcome to Section 2, Planning your Migration to Angular 2. In the previous section, we just saw a quick overview of our migration plan to Angular 2. In this section, we will see what are the best practices to anticipate your migration and how to plan that migration accordingly. We are specifically going to take a look at how the migration process can be done step by step instead of all at once. Then we will see how to get your Angular 1 application ready for Angular 2. And finally, we will introduce both TypeScript and ES6 and explain why we need to know about those technologies. Now we move on to the first video of this section that deals with the incremental migration process, or how to migrate your code step by step. In this video, you're going to learn about ng-upgrade, which is the Angular 2 library that is going to help us with the migration process. As a result, we can effectively migrate our Angular code in small increments. Angular 2 has been designed with migration in mind. As a matter of fact, Angular 2 and Angular 1 can run together in the same application, and you can basically mix Angular 2 components and services with Angular 1 code. Here is an example from the Angular team to illustrate how you can go about the migration process. Here we have an Angular 1 application and decide to get our feet wet by migrating the left navigation bar, as the task seems to be easy enough. Then you decide to upgrade your main view to Angular 2, even though that view still has Angular 1 components inside, it still works. Angular 1 and Angular 2 can inject services across frameworks, and data binding works across frameworks as well. That way, you are entirely free to migrate your application piece by piece, at your pace, and you don't have to rewrite everything at once. This easy migration process is made possible by the ng-upgrade library, which is developed by the Angular team specifically for migration purposes. What ng-upgrade does is it wraps your newly written Angular 2 code into Angular 1 components, as we can see on its directive example here. That way, you use the Angular 1 wrapper directive as long as your application is not fully migrated to Angular 2. Once the migration is complete, you can remove the ng-upgrade wrappers and replace the top-level Angular 1 bootstrap with a brand new Angular 2 bootstrap. Another option is ng-forward, which is a default solution for people who like to start writing code using Angular 2 conventions and styles that runs today on Angular 1x. Its main goal is for developers to learn Angular 2 while working on Angular 1x applications. It does not replace the need for ng-upgrade, which is why our course will focus on how to use ng-upgrade instead. We now know that the Angular team has developed a specific library to help us migrate our code in a step-by-step process, which will make the task much easier as you can basically migrate your code at your own pace instead of migrating the entire application at once.